Hey, Phantomaniacs, welcome to the newest unboxing here on the Needless Things YouTube channel today. If there's one thing that I love, as much as I love overly complicated, potentially fragile, breakable action figures like Mezco's 112 Collective series, it's 5 points of articulation. I need a break. I just spent over an hour doing my review of the Mezco 112 Collective Roadblock, which went up probably yesterday, but sometime in the last week or so. I need something a little easier and more palatable here. I finally have the full collection of retro Ahsoka figures, even this dum-dum, which I kind of didn't even want to buy, but if you're buying 6 figures, you might as well buy 7. It was a combination of finding them at Target, literally like one at a time, and then getting Chopper from Pulse, and I think Hera came from Amazon, and then the others were literally like one at a time at Target. It was a really weird process of finding these, and I still haven't seen them plentiful at Target. So if these are your cup of tea, probably just go on Pulse and buy them. If you're Pulse Premium, get that free shipping. Maybe Amazon, whatever, but stores, I don't know. But let's go ahead and start opening these things up. I'm going to open them in the order in which I found them, which is how I have them laid out right here. And surprisingly, Ahsoka was the first one I found, although maybe it's not surprising because maybe she's coming like 2 per case or something. I don't know. So I have already said, somewhat controversially, I like the printed wear on the cards. I think it's neat. I hate the giant retro sticker and then the card backs with no cross sell. I mean, I guess these words count as a cross sell, but my gosh, it certainly isn't as fun as an actual cross sell picture, but whatever. So let's zoom in and open this figure up. Now, I've already got an Ahsoka, and as I'm talking, it occurs to me that I should... Oh, look at this. Because she's got her little cloak in there, which is awesome. I should probably grab the other one for comparison. So my expectation is that this is exactly the same as the previously released retro Ahsoka. Why did I do that? Perhaps with, minor variances in the paint colors. In an ideal world, this would have been an Ahsoka the White, or whatever terminology they're using for the costume she had at the end of the show. But I don't mind this either. Get your mileage, it's fine, and it's the titular character you gotta have. Yeah, it is. In my right hand is the Ahsoka from The Mandalorian. Or was it Book of Boba Fett? No, it's The Mandalorian, right? As you can see, practically identical. I'm fine with it, though, because this one will stay on the shelf looking exactly like this. And this one, I might not even give her the lightsabers. I will put on the shelf in her little hooded gear here, which... maybe I can get those out. Yeah, let's do that. Let's get those out to kind of hold that into place. And a little, depending on what your need for realism is out of a simplistic 5-point of articulation figure, if you so desire, you can wet this and then put it on the figure and kind of push it down and however you want it to go. I don't know if that looks better. I thought it would look better with those out. Oh, it does, because they kind of hold it in place. But you can wet this and kind of push it down and let it dry, and it'll keep shape a little bit if you want. So there you go. Nice little soft goods parka type deal. Very good representation of what she had in the show. And of course, her white lightsabers. She is not a Jedi. All right. Marrok, who everybody was like, oh, it's probably Ezra, or it's going to be some big reveal, and it's going to be so stupid, because it's going to be some character we know, and it's going to be dumb, and then it was nobody, he just died, and I loved it. He died and, like, bled green mist all over the place. Which, was he a zombie person? Well, I don't know what the deal was. But whatever it was, he looked really cool. I mean, he looks like a Knight of Ren as much as anything. But he looks cool. He's your typical Star Wars throwaway, cool-looking villain. Did a nice job. Let's take that off and just see what we got. Did a nice job capturing him in his 5 points of articulation fashion. And look, you can't complain about somebody who is a minor character receiving a figure in Star Wars, because, you know, if you're my age, that's why you love Star Wars toys. Was all of those minor characters that got toys and built your collection out, and you got to make up your own stories for these people who were just background in the movies. It's fantastic. It'd never been done that way. So there you go. There is that fellow, Marrok, whose name I will probably forget as soon as I put him on the shelf. I've got Sabine Ren, who ended up sort of being the star of Ahsoka, in a way, and who comes with a massive load of accessories for a 5 POA figure. Got 2 blasters, a lightsaber, a helmet. Is this the most loaded 5 points of articulation figure of all time? And you can't, that does bug me a little bit, she can't hold all of her gear. So let's take a closer look at her. Nice portrait. She's even got a little bit of a smirk on her face, if you can see that. Sculpting is nice, of course, you know, your standard. Look, she could sit down in a vehicle, potentially. She does have the lightsaber hilt hanging, but also has her lightsaber, which is very, very, like, kinnery. So what that probably means to me is I'll put the lightsaber in a drawer and have her holding her blasters, which hopefully she can hold well. Hasbro/Kenner seems to have mostly gotten past the can't hold their weapons thing with the first wave of these. She's got her helmet, which is a removable helmet, which is very cool. Not without precedent. Obviously, we know Bausch, Luke and Han, and Stormtrooper disguises, removable helmets were a thing in the original line. And it's a little loose, but it looks okay. I mean, it's a little big, obviously, but again, that's the aesthetics of this line. That does not bother me a bit. And I don't know if I want to display her with the helmet or not, because her portrait looks really good. She has maybe a little bit of a small head, which is maybe a side effect of them trying to make the helmet not too gigantic. I don't know. Let's see how well she holds these. These are actually 2. We've got a gray and a yellow. And let's see. They turn in a little bit, kind of like my left eye when I've been drinking. Oh, they turn in a lot. Oh, but look at that. You can straighten them out, and they kind of stay. Well, now they're turned out a little bit, but that looks a little more natural. Man, I don't want to cover up that portrait, but that's a cool look. And I think that's what I'm going to go with. Moving on to the HK-87 Assassin Droid. Obviously, these have quite a legacy in the expanded universe. I know there's a specific HK87 a lot of people would like to see, or I guess it's not HK87. What is the numeric designation? I don't remember. But it was cool to see this assassin droid in the show. I accidentally bought a second one of these because I had forgotten that I bought the first one. And I almost kept it, and then I was just like, not necessary. There are other things I could spend that $11.99 on and be perfectly happy about it. So I took that back to the store. And this is, color-wise, a lot of color for a droid, but a standout retro-style figure. This is going to pop on the shelf. This is going to be very noticeable amongst your retro collection. It's something very different. And it can hold that blaster quite well. I didn't do a stand test for these other ones, but mainly because they all stand up very well. I have yet to have a problem getting any of these retro figures to stand. I'm not going to bother with Ahsoka because the other one stands well. General Hera Syndulla. Well, I don't want to get into commentary about the show. It's awesome to have a retro style Hera figure. I would love to see a full line of retro Rebels figures. I would buy that in a second. I mean, at this point, to be honest, I will buy any retro figures in a second. Portrait is very Kennery. Got the Rebel logo, and that is actually, so it's a sculpted circle. The full details of the Alliance logo are not sculpted, but it is a sculpted circle on her shoulder. I've got her, I guess, rank insignia or whatever that is. Really nicely detailed. She's got the classic, which I don't know if this is really the intent here or not, but it was about a year ago where I found out that there are folks who treat that as how these holsters work, and that's why that loop is open. I think it's the Hoth Han Solo. Might have been one of the first ones to have that open loop in their holster. And I saw that online and it blew my mind because, I had that figure when I was a little kid and it never even occurred to me to store that blaster there. She holds her blaster very nicely. She stands up, of course. And there you go. Looks great. So much fun. Morgan Elsbeth, who has 0 accessories. So I guess she was contributing to Sabine's accessory count, because that's how these things work. Morgan Elsbeth, who would have been warming the pegs back in the day, but who is a great character. Very nice portrait there. And really even a cool design, but she would have just been warming the heck out of the pegs. Right alongside Mon Mothma had she happened. But as things are, cool figure, thrilled to have her. I can't remember if they're doing a vintage collection. I know there's a Black Series version out. I don't know if there's a vintage collection version of her out yet or not. But great. Happy to have her. And finally, last but not least, our little buddy, Chopper. I've got a vintage collection Chopper that should be here any day now from Pulse. Oh, that one, yeah, that one's coming from Pulse as well. Chopper's popular. Look, you can't stop the chop. One of the most popular characters from these shows, certainly from Rebels and definitely from Ahsoka. Chopper, droids are going to sell, especially droids with as much personality as this little guy has. I love that they've kept the sticker aesthetic here. He's got his little third wheel. We'll see how that works. No hinges here. And his dome. Oh, listen. That wonderful, satisfying click. Love it. He has a little dish on top here, you know, very, very simplified retro style version. He does have his black painted optical ports. And he's got a sticker on the back, which almost seems like too much, right? Well, I'm trying to think, does R2 have a sticker on the back? Yeah, I guess he does, doesn't he? I don't remember. And I just reviewed one not that long ago. But anyway. Oh, and look at that. That wheel, removable. I will probably not remove it. Oh, and it stays, hang on. It stays in there pretty securely, but it comes out pretty easily. Some nice friction going on there. So you can have your little chop. I'll probably put him on the shelf like that. Obviously, he stands up nicely. So, there you go. The newest wave of retro Star Wars figures. I love them. I am delighted that this is an ongoing thing, that Hasbro has decided that this is a form that they're going to continue on with, and is obviously finding enough success for them to keep going, not only with the classic releases, but with modern content as well. I love them. These just bring me so much joy. They're so much fun every time I pass by my shelf of retro figures. It just makes me happy, and shouldn't that be what collecting is all about? Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, share, tell your friends about Needless Things. Come back for all kinds of different toy reviews, and my top 10 of 2023 is going to be coming up before the end of the year, so keep an eye out for that. I've still got to sit down and figure out what that is. Thanks for watching, everybody. Until next time, let's see. Who would...
Smash that like button if you like Needless Things.